So all preparing for 2025, 26 or 27? 25, 26, 27. Okay. So today we will take up two topics. In a way they are interrelated also. One is regarding social media and the other is youth. As you know, youth and social media are quite related to each other. And the strengths of youths, the demographic dividend, that is one. Come. And the other is the social media, the pros and the cons. So we will discuss one by one. Please feel free to ask me any question at any point of time. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Krishna Mohan. I am a 1977 batch IAS officer from Haryana cadre, and after 36 years of service, after that I have been delivering lectures. I am a national trainer and facilitator on ethics. So in that capacity, I take sessions on ethics, also regarding personality development, and many issues related to civil services, GS papers 2 and GS paper 4, essay also. So these two topics are actually part of the master class. So the master class is basically having a knowledge. This knowledge will be useful to you in all papers. And I have purposely prepared a very exhaustive PPT for this purpose. And this will be useful to you in essay paper also, in general knowledge, GS2 also, GS4 also, even for personality test and interview also. So it's always good to, even now, you see the three things which are important are, one is called, they are called KSA. I'm sure you are aware about what is KSA. The ability of a person depends on the KSA. The KSA, K is knowledge, S is skills, and A is attitude. One should keep on improving knowledge, one should keep on learning new skills, and one should always have a positive, creative, optimistic attitude to life. So civil services do require all the three of them. They are required in varying degrees in prelims and then mains and in the interview. Prelims is mostly its knowledge. Mains is knowledge also and skills also, how to write. Prelims is mostly multiple choice questions, so therefore it is more of knowledge, and mains is knowledge plus skills, and the interview is mostly attitude, but to some extent knowledge also, and to some extent skills also, because you have to present yourself before the interview board. In 20 minutes time, you have to make a good presentation. So all the three are important. So we will, so this is a part of your knowledge improvement, social, the media and the youth, the part youth is playing in the world today. Some people always also argue that the demographic dividend which is available in our country, we are a very young population, as you are already aware. But at the same time, if the young people, youth does not get jobs, then what is this demographic dividend worth for? Iska fayda kya? Unless and until people get jobs. So therefore, whereas demographic dividend is important, but at the same time it is necessary that they are properly engaged in various activities. So let us start firstly with social media and then with youth. Many things about social media you are already aware. But just to tell you, government and private sector both are now using social media for various purposes, to attract customers, to get a feedback from the customers, to engage with the stakeholders. which is that government organization which is very active on social media? One organization is very active. There are many government departments, ministries which are active, but one particular ministry is particularly active on Facebook and Twitter. Railways. So Railways is the most active ministry on social media. So they engage with the passengers. If supposing a particular platform garbage is lying, it is not getting cleared up. If the air conditioning is not working in a particular compartment, or many complaints regarding cleanliness, other things. So people immediately write it on the Facebook and also Twitter, and it is attended to. So social media, the power of social media is unlimited. You see, originally, media is the fourth pillar of democracy. The original media was print media and then electronic media. And now social media has surpassed everyone. Okay, the extent to which social media can go, and it now even the most common citizen of the country, they are in a position to use the social media. So it's become a voice for them. Earlier, you could not get that voice. You have to write letters to the editor if you want anything in the newspaper. Otherwise, how will they print? They will never print. But social media now, you can join into issues concerning national interest, other things. You can start your blog, you can start your podcast. So many things are there. So let us start. It seems to be working. Yeah. So I have purposely made this PPT. Normally I prepare PPT which are very sketchy, which have very few words, but I thought it proper that this particular two subjects you should learn at great length. So it may be slightly lengthy, but believe me, we will be sharing all the PPTs, but understand the concepts which are more important. So social media has become an integral part of our daily life. Some people can't even survive without social media. They are so addicted to the social media. In fact, to tell you frankly, social media, if you want to take up civil services, for 1 year you have to literally leave the social media. Otherwise, the pressures and anxieties are so much that you will not be in a position to pay attention to the preparation of civil service. So social media has got its plus and minuses points. It has become an integral part, countless opportunities. The print media and the electronic media has got limited opportunities. But this has got anyone who has got an internet connection on mobile phone or otherwise at home, he or she can always access the social media. So the limit is endless. For connection, learning and entertainment. What is connection and what is learning and what is entertainment? Correct, absolutely correct. Yes, so much of learning material knowledge is available on the platform. Yeah, so it can be for pleasure, joy, entertainment. You can see films, you can see so many things. So all the three things, there are countless opportunities because of social media. What I am going to talk today, don't think it is a lecture. It is a conversation with all of you. And therefore, feel free to talk to me anything that you want to ask. No longer just a tool. It is no longer just a tool. It is pervasive. What is meant by pervasive? Yeah, dominated. It is all prevailing. Everywhere now you have social media, isn't it? Even the rural areas, you see, you will have social media. You know, there are two things two major developments took place in the field of technology in India, in communication sector. The first development that took place was opening up of STD, PCO and ISD booths in rural areas. In rural areas, people were not able to talk to the urban areas because there was no connectivity of telephone. You had to go to the post offices or you had to go to Sarpanch's house, maybe there was telephone. But then with PCO, STD and ISD booths, the communication became very easy. And the second revolution then came in the form of mobile phones. And the third thing came when Jio brought down made free, data free. And therefore, everyone from the street hawker and vegetable seller, everyone was able to access. So that was a great revolution. This was the third level we have reached now. So it is all pervasive, influencing almost every aspect of our lives. As platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube evolve, the digital world grows more engaging, yet overwhelming for youth. So particularly the youth of today is very, very adept and expert in leveraging social media for all practical purposes. Youth is trapped between digital engagement and overwhelming experiences, isn't it? It is literally a trap. You know why it is trap? You know, when, I don't know whether you have seen those days, the color TV had started in India some time back, quite some time back. Otherwise, there was a black and white TV. And there was just one channel, Doordarshan. And there was a signature tone of Doordarshan, which you might be knowing, must have heard. And then there was only one entertainment program on Doordarshan, that was Chitrahar. So there you will see movies, songs of movies. And then it became color. And I remember Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister. So she had gone abroad for a meeting. And then she had brought color TV sets from a foreign country. And she was so ethical. When she got down and she got those color TV sets, the first thing she said was that tell the custom authorities that they should immediately charge customs duty on my TV sets. So heavy custom duty was there on the color TV sets. So color TV sets then came, and after color TV sets, then gradually what happened that the Doordarshan, beside Doordarshan, there were many other channels which came. One was Star TV. So Mr. Murdoch was there. He was the proprietor of Star TV. Initially, he started free to air. All channels were free to air. There was no charges, you see, leveraged. Because he wanted people to become addicted to the DTH platform. Initially, it was not even DTH. It was with a huge satellite. You had to put a huge canopy on your top of your house. Then it became much smaller, DTH. But that was, he wanted them to be addicted. And later on, when they got addicted, they could not live without that. Same thing is happening now. Jio brought down the rates, tariff rates, and people got addicted. And now people can't leave that social media. So this is how the journey has taken place. So youth is really trapped now. 61% of urban Indian parents report children 9 to 17 years spend 3+ hours daily. This is the level of engagement. And on social media, videos, OTT, and online gaming, that is a survey which was carried out. So 61% of urban Indian parents, they have reported. Recently, there was a legislation which was brought about by one of the countries. Which country? Australia. So Australia brought about a law limiting social media to people, children above a certain age. And duty was cast upon the parents that they should not expose children to the social media. Something like that probably will need to be done here also, in this country also. So current challenges of social media. Any questions so far? Nothing? Okay. So validation from digital world over real experiences. What's the meaning of this? Exactly. So it is more real life situations which the social media provides. For example, there was a Shatabdi train which was traveling from one destination to another destination. And you know, in Shatabdi train, food is served. So food was served, and those waiters who serve the food, before the end of the journey, so normally they go around asking for bakshish. You know, they carry some soft ilaichi, and people drop in some 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 10 rupees. That is what happens. Now, one of the passengers who was sitting in that Shatabdi, he took umbrage to it. He said, I have already paid for the tickets. How come this payment to these people? It is literally coercion. So he took a photograph of that and sent it on social media. And railways picked it up immediately. And before the train could reach the destination, the security of that contractor was forfeited. Now that is the kind of thing, real life situations you are dealing with in social media. A police constable who is driving a scooter without wearing a helmet, people take a snap, put it on the social media. The SP has to suspend those people. Some people are drunk, police, and they are misbehaving with people say. So therefore, the validation from digital world over real experience. So through digital world, we are now seeing the real life experiences. And the most interesting part is, it is accessible by even the most common people. So it is like empowerment of the citizen of this country, which was not empowered because print media and electronic media were very limited. Only the proprietors want whatever they wanted to put on the newspaper or on the electronic media, only that was there. But now you can raise a voice through the social media. And there are, particularly in other countries, if something happens which is not liked by people, they form a group. And then they, as a group, pressure group, they start exerting on the government. And people have to. You know, recently what happened, I know you must have seen on the social media, there was a famous world guitarist who used to play guitar. So what happened that he was traveling from one place to another, and he had put his guitars in the baggage, you know, which is checked in. So those people who were handling the baggage, they were very, very crude, and they mishandled the guitar, and his very costly guitar was broken. And the interesting part is, he was seeing from his window, he was sitting on his seat, and he was seeing that they are mishandling it. And he tried to intervene, but nobody listened. When they reached, he found his guitar, some of the parts had been broken. So he immediately complained to the airlines. And he said that you have to pay for this compensation. They refused. And then he went, he was so disappointed that he went. In fact, what happened was the airline said, since you have filed the complaint after 24 hours, we will not take notice to it. So he was so upset. He, along with his associate, they made a song, and he played that song, which was showing the complacency and indifference of the airlines people. And that song became viral. And more than 30 million people saw that song. And then what happened? Since it was reported on the social media, many other similar customers, they also joined explaining their experiences also which they had with that airlines. It was probably United Airlines. So they also shared their experiences. By the end of the week, the managing director of United Airlines, he had to come, apologize to him, pay him sufficient compensation, never to repeat it again, but by that time damage had been done. So the United Airlines, or whichever airlines was it, they got very bad publicity. So this is the power of the social media which is nowadays available. So impact on mental and emotional health. So there is an impact on the mental and emotional health. Why? Over? Yes. So social media, there is so much of information which is coming, some of which is highly disturbing also. And it tells upon the mental and emotional health of the people. I have seen many people, if they do not get any likes, they get upset. If they get too many dislikes, they get very upset. So what happens is that it tells upon their mental and emotional health. And in fact, it was meant to connect people, but it is taking people apart. Because now people are confined to their own houses, and within the house they are addicted to the social media. So it is telling upon the mental and emotional health. It hides emotional tolls. What is that? Yes, yes, absolutely. So it hides the emotional tolls also. Erosion of attention spans. What is that? Huh? Rain? Brain? Yes. Focus time between the, what was that? Personal life is? Be slightly more specific. Daily routine. Erosion. Yes. Yes. It starts eroding. So what happens is, the important things where they had to pay attention, that starts eroding, because that is being replaced by other kinds of things, which occupy the mind. Mind is also a limited thing. So some other important thing, information, that gets eroded. Fractured real life relationship. Real life becomes fractured, isn't it? People start living in the social media, which is a virtual thing in a way. It is about real life experiences, but people start living in a virtual life, and real life they are really cut off. So what is social media addiction? Defined as the compulsive, excessive, and prolonged use of social media platforms. So the prolonged use, I think the slide was cut off here. So defined as the compulsive, excessive, and prolonged use of social media platforms. Simple, I think. That is addiction. You get addicted just like one is addicted to many other vices. The addiction can be to liquor, it can be to gambling, it can be to drugs. In the same way, social media is an addiction. And it's very difficult to come out of that. That is why Australia had to bring in a law for that, which interferes with an individual's daily activities, responsibilities, and relationships. So what happens is that because of living so much in the virtual world, people have stopped talking to each other, playing outside. talking to their relatives. You see, many of us, and I'm telling you, don't take it otherwise, but what I'm trying to tell is the relationships which are the most important thing, we are gradually losing them. How many of us remember to talk to our chacha or tau or bua or poopa? We don't. We are so much busy in our day-to-day affair. COVID-19 was one such occasion which brought, in a way, people nearer. People started thinking about one's relation because gradually they were going away from this world. Many people died. Many of our near and dear ones died. And then we realized, oh, we should have spent more time with them, isn't it? So, social media is also taking away a lot many responsibilities which we have towards our near and dear ones. So, the relationships, it interferes with that. For example, World Health Organization, I don't know what is happening. The entire thing is not getting clear. Maybe someone will have to call someone. Why it is, the entire slide is not getting shown. No. Can someone call someone? Yeah. IT वाले को बुला दीजिए जरा तुरंत. Okay, so World Health Organization has recognized gaming disorder as a behavioral addiction, high in the growing concerns around excessive use of these digital platforms. So more and more, in fact, Facebook is the largest country in the world. Do you know that? Facebook is the largest country in the world. Because the number of people who see the Facebook, they are larger than even the biggest countries in the world. Facebook is the biggest country. So therefore, the gaming disorder, for example, was a behavioral addiction, which was typically, and it is causing a lot of concern because of excessive use of digital platforms. Key characteristics of social media addiction. पूरी स्क्रीन नहीं दिखा रहा है, ये देखिए, अब प्रोलॉन्ग के बाद गायब है. इसी तरह नेक्स्ट स्लाइड में गायब है. हाँ? इतना ही है. ऐसा कैसे हो गया? उन्होंने कल आपकी आईटी टीम ने बनाया था, मतलब आपकी मतलब यहाँ तक तो ठीक है. अगला देखिए स्लाइड, अगली. प्रोलॉन्ग की बजाय प्रोल हो गया. अच्छा चलो, आई गेस नथिंग कैन बी डन अबाउट इट. ओके, सो द gaming disorder. So key characteristics: compulsive use. So the need to check social media every second minute. Compulsive. We get upset, and that is why some people, I asked this question in the mock interview also. Can you tell me how will the life be without a mobile phone? That's a question which I asked them. Imagine a life without mobile phone. What is your view? So this is without social media. Social media has become a compulsive thing. We get very restless if we are not able to see the mobile phone every second minute. So compulsive. And repeated, often without a specific purpose. Bina purpose ke, without purpose, we keep on looking at the mobile phone. For example, a recent local circle survey reveals troubling in daily internet use amongst children aged 9 to 17, with 61% urban Indian parents reporting that their children are around 3 hours a day on social media, videos, OTT and online gaming. So that is the survey. So difficulty in limiting the time spent on the social media or reducing usage despite negative consequences. So there is a loss of control over children, even though parents want it, but they are not able to exercise control. After all, parents can't really remain attentive all the times, and children do spend time in their rooms also. There was this when joint family system was there, many of these things did not happen because someone or the other was always present, some adult member. But now with the nucleus family, the older parents are not there, in-laws are not there. So what happens is that children, they find their friends more on the internet rather than talking to their seniors or their colleagues. So the social interaction has been replaced by digital interaction nowadays, and it is very difficult to control. Thinking about social media constantly when not using, preoccupation. So there are three things: compulsive use, loss of control by the parents, and preoccupation. Thinking about social media constantly even when not using it. So we keep on, I mean, our thoughts are preoccupied with social media, not about anything else. That is why I said that for civil service preparation, just for 1 year, please do this sacrifice, leave the social media. I remember I have 2 daughters, so I also goaded both of them to appear at the civil services. The elder one was more concerned about she did her MBA, she wanted to become an executive, which she did, became the vice president of a company, and still is there, working as very senior level. The younger one also was very much inclined towards multinationals and others. So my younger daughter, she did her Bachelor of Engineering, Electrical Engineering from Punjab Engineering College. She was more of a tomboy, so she devotes most of the time in debates and shot put and javelin throw and athletics and running and stargazing. So everything which is there with a boy can do, so she can also perform that. So she was very inclined in favor of the corporate world. So I tried to goad her. I said, you also join civil services just like me. So to which she did not like it, and she said, no, one person is enough in the house. You are there. I don't want to become a civil servant. I will go and I will get a job in some good company in Gurgaon and I will join there. So I said, okay, because nowadays you really can't push the children. And recently, if you remember, Kota, that incident had happened. Have you read that incident? One of the girls, she was pressurized by her mother to take up science. And then she committed suicide. And she wrote a suicide letter. And many things are happening. In fact, Kota has become a suicide point where many such kind of pressures are there. So then what happened? So I said, take it, whatever you want. She was amongst the top 10, very good. And so the day she completed, the year before that, the placement, the companies came. And the companies, the best companies came to Punjab Engineering College. And she appeared at 2 of them because they were only allowed 2, because everyone should get an opportunity. So she picked up the best of them. And she underwent a number of interviews, almost 7-8 interviews in succession by the same company, the last interview ending at about 3 o'clock early in the morning. And she was selected in one of the best companies. She joined and at Gurgaon, and my wife accompanied her, and both of them were in Delhi. So what happened was that the life of that girl, who was otherwise so outgoing, you see, she was the basketball champion and volleyball champion, everything. Suddenly it was limited to the corporate world. In the morning, 6 o'clock, she will have to get up and come back at 9 o'clock. So this totally changed her life. And just 3 months passed. And after 3 months, she said, Papa, enough is enough. I don't want to continue in the corporate world any longer. I'm prepared to sit at take the civil services examination. So she took civil services examination, got through in the first attempt, and we were quite happy. She got into Indian Revenue Service Income Tax. She is presently posted as Additional Commissioner in Delhi in Income Tax. But for 1 full year, she said, Papa, I will not continue both the things. Preparation for the civil services and also my job. I will have to go in one direction. So I will resign. Are you agreeable? I said, absolutely, no problem. Resign. She resigned, came back to Chandigarh. For 1 full year, she didn't touch social media. She didn't go for any sports, anything. Just prepared for the examination and got through in the first attempt. So my only suggestion to you is that just for 1 year, you work hard, only concentrate on your civil services. I can definitely say that you will get through. It may not be directly to IAS, it may be to Indian Revenue Service or Audit and Accounts, but all services are equally good, equally important. So pre-occupation, thinking about social media, even if not using it. So key characteristics of social media: escalating usage, gradually increasing in time. Today 2 hours, tomorrow we'll say, thoda sa aur kar lete, slightly more. And so you keep on increasing the time spent on the social media platforms. Withdrawal symptoms: feeling anxious, restless or irritated when unable to access social media. Supposing you have gone to some spot where the internet services are not very good, then what happens? You are not able to access the Facebook and the Twitter and other Instagrams. They are the most popular ones, the Facebook, Instagram and Twitter to some extent. So they get irritated. So it leads to withdrawal symptoms. So local survey of 11,697 respondents, 39% reported aggressive behavior, 37% impatience, 27% lethargic, 25% hyperactive, 22% depressed. So this is how the social media kept on, is literally stealing the life of the people. And so the factors contributing to social media, one is the peer pressure. You know, peer pressure happens. If someone is smoking, he will put a peer pressure on the way, you also smoke. Someone is drinking, peer pressure. So because of peer pressure, many of the vices automatically come. And people start thinking that if I don't know, if I don't have a good account, Facebook account or Twitter, then I'm inferior to the other person. So peer pressure always acts. Therefore, one has to improve the willpower. That even if there is a peer pressure, you have to, your peer group is not going to give you civil services. Civil services you will get only by your own hard labor. So therefore, social media has got many plus things. You will learning part and entertainment part. Entertainment to some extent, but learning is also very much available on the social media. You can learn so much. So use that part for improving your knowledge. KSA, knowledge, skills, attitudes. Social media often creates an environment where users compare themselves to the curated lives of others. So they compare with others' lives. कि उसका तो उस पर भी account है, उसका इस पर भी account है, I should also have. And then you keep on competing with other persons that I should also be on the social media. Little realizing, and you know which, this is what I say. I take separate sessions for the life of the civil servant, how the civil servant goes through the life, what are the great things that you will get from the civil services. Unimaginable, unimaginable. You can't even imagine the kind of life you will have as a civil servant. It is superb. For the next 200 years, 300 years, 500 years, the only service which is going to be the best service is the civil service. And therefore, if 1 year you have to be off the social media, or for that matter any other entertainment, it's worth it. So peer pressure, they are more vulnerable to peer influence and seek validation through likes, comments and shares. You know this. Example, Instagram's impact through likes and comments. Then dopamine loop. What is dopamine loop? Huh? Yes, correct. So social media platforms are designed to trigger the brain's reward system. So they want instant gratification, such as notification and likes. So the likes which they get or the notification, it is an instant gratification. What is gratification? Satisfaction. So if there are likes, you get very happy. So that is the dopamine effect which social media has. This creates a cycle where the brain craves more and more, you see, making it hard to stop using these platforms. And therefore all things are fine, good, in only moderate quantity. Extremes are bad, you see. And when you will prepare for the civil services, you will find that the great philosophers like Socrates, Plato and Aristotle, they talked about a mean, that you should always be in the middle, neither this way nor that way. All extremes are bad. So social media per se is not bad, but then you tend to go to one extreme, and that is what makes it bad. The same thing about liquor or smoking, or now people say about positive and negative effects of liquor also. Liquor also acts sometimes. Doctors also prescribe it. Though smoking is something which is 100% say that it is bad for health. There is no doubt about it. In fact, a large number of diseases which are there, lung diseases, are all because of the smoking. But other addictions, if taken in moderation, then that is why they talked about the golden mean. The golden mean means that it should not be any of the extremes. Okay, so factors contributing to social media: fear of missing out, FOMO. Social media fuels FOMO, where users feel anxious about missing events, trends or social interactions. So we sometimes feel that we will miss that event. So therefore, they get more and more addicted. This leads to constant checking and can result in excessive use. Simple, you understand that. Escapism. So many young people turn to social media as a way to escape real life issues like academic stress or social anxiety. So they resort to social media because there is stress, academic stress is there, social stress is there. So they resort to such escapist tendencies. They derive a great pleasure and satisfaction and solace in the hands of the social media. This creates an emotional dependency where platforms serve as a distraction from loneliness or stress, often at the cost of meaningful offline relationships. So offline, meaningful relationships, as I told you, they are much more important than online relationships. Online relationships result in many frauds, which happens every day you are finding. And in fact, use of internet and social media has resulted in many people getting duped for money, relationships also. One of the most recent things was digital arrest. You must have heard about digital arrest, where the other person says, I am speaking from such and such enforcement agency and we have put you under digital arrest, you can't leave, and now you have to shell out so much of money because a packet which you had and it was delivered in your favor, that has contraband and drugs. Or they will say that your the electricity shall be cut off at 9 o'clock in the night today unless you pay this much of amount, this bill is outstanding. All kinds of frauds. Nowadays on the mobile phone also, before the ringtone, you hear all these warning messages. Same thing happens about social media as well. So many people
Looking for strong revision, innovative curriculum and dedicated mentoring for the General Studies paper of UPSC Prelims 2025? With only a few months left for the Prelims exam, does the lack of mentoring, robust syllabus and absence of revision strategy make you anxious? Vision IAS has the perfect solution for you. Join the Fast Track Course 2025, covering every aspect of students' preparation including coverage of GS Prelims syllabus, dedicated mentoring and guidance for performance maximization, regular practice with sectional mini tests, access to PT 365 for current affairs preparation, performance assessment and feedback. Available both offline and online, choose the program mode as per your convenience and excel in GS Prelims with high scores. Admission to the course now open. With UPSC Prelims 2025 knocking at your doorstep. Are you feeling the jitters? Is the vast syllabus making you anxious and are you struggling to use these last months effectively to revise and brush up your knowledge? Stay calm and take charge of your preparation. Utilize these last months effectively to revise each subject thoroughly with the quick revision classes for General Studies Prelims 2025 starting on 5th February at 1 p.m. These classes offer comprehensive coverage of key subjects and topics for quick revision. Seize the opportunity and stand out in UPSC Prelims with targeted documents like the Quick Revision module. Commence your quick revision classes for features including thematic coverage of GS syllabus, coverage of core subjects like polity, economy and more, personalized one-on-one mentoring support, comprehensive and updated quick revision module, integrated assessment and feedback. In these last crucial months, act wisely and choose the smart revision strategy to excel in UPSC Prelims. Your UPSC journey may be filled with challenges, but never find yourself alone in your preparation. March towards mains success with the support of a dedicated mentor, helping you boost your analytical skills, critical thinking, and effective answer writing abilities. A true mentor stands with you, offering psychological and emotional support. Enhance your practice, get strategic revision tips, and enrich your preparation with the Daksha Mains Mentoring Program 2025. Starting from 13th January, benefit from the program offering personalized learning plan based on skills and competencies. Enhanced preparedness for GS subjects including essay and ethics. Development of advanced answer writing skills. Periodic interaction with UPSC toppers for exam insights. Brainstorming sessions for improved critical thinking. Interactive sessions with eminent educationists. Stop struggling alone and extend your hand towards personalized mentoring for UPSC Mains 2025.
Emotional dependency, parental influence and lack of attention. So in urban society where both parents work, children often lack attention and turn to mobile devices. In fact, nowadays a new concept is emerging in foreign countries which is called dinks. Are you aware about dinks? What is dinks? No idea? Where both husband and wife, they are both earning, so they don't want to have child. So what is the full form of dinks, do you know? Double income, no kids. Dinks. Double income, no kids. So that is the concept which is emerging in the Western world. And it is gradually traveling to India also. Both of them want to earn, but they don't want to take up the responsibility of raising a kid. So if they raise the kid, then they are not having time for the kids. So the result is the kid often, because of the peer pressure, resorts to social media. Where parents are also absorbed in their phones, children tend to mimic also. So माँ भी जुटी हुई है, फादर भी मोबाइल फ़ोन पर है, तो बच्चे भी मोबाइल फ़ोन पर हैं. So that is why I must have seen on the WhatsApp also some that one mother was so concerned, and before taking dinner, she put a bag and she said, put all the mobile phones in the bag, only then you will have your dinner. So that, because otherwise, while taking dinner, while taking tea, breakfast, everyone is looking. And you know something, I'm sure all of you must have witnessed, at the railway station and airports, if you go there, everyone is just looking at the phone. They don't have time to talk to anyone. So that is the level to which social media has taken us to. This lack of supervision and constant exposure to screens can lead to social media addiction. Algorithm-driven engagement. So social media algorithms are designed to keep users engaged, because the algorithms, in fact the artificial intelligence, whatever you like most, so you get such kind of sites, such kind of advertisements, such kind of information which is liking to you. In fact, the phone is always listening to you, always listening to you. And wherever you go, it also records where you are going. So that is the problem of the mobile phones, that it virtually keeps a track of every activity of yours. So algorithm is designed to keep users engaged by showing them content that aligns with their interests and makes it harder for children to stop scrolling. They keep on scrolling. And particularly with the predatory tendencies of one of the mobile operators. What is a predator? Prey. Predator. The big fish eating the small fish. He is a predator. You must have seen a film also, Predator. So, some of one mobile company literally ate up all mobile companies by bringing down the data to 0. So that is called as predatory tendencies, where you eat up the finish of the competition. So you are aware about that company. So, and then what happened, it made the data almost 0, and once everyone was addicted to it, then they started raising the cost of the data. By that time, all the other companies were literally out. Now you hardly have just one Airtel, that is the competition. Otherwise, all other companies are gone. So it makes it harder for children to scroll. So negative impacts, mental health consequences. Excessive social media use is closely linked to increased anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Simple words, all of you are aware. For example, the use of filters and Photoshop on social media creates a distorted view of the reality, amplifying body image concerns. Okay? So social media, in fact, the use of filters and Photoshop. What is filters and Photoshop, and what is the effect that it creates? It hides reality. Yes, correct. It is, there are two types of marketing. One is called manipulative marketing. The other is called surrogate marketing. Are you aware about these two? What is manipulative marketing? Can you give example? Manipulative. You manipulate the person. For example, Fair and Lovely cream. Fair and Lovely. You say, you will become white. So in a way, it is a very dangerous thing. Then you want to say that in the society, only white color is, and they will link it to marriage. Okay, you will get married only when you are having a fair color. So Fair and Lovely, they claim, isn't it? Growing of hair, hair fall, they say कि hair, आपका hair जो है वापस आ जाएगा. Or about fat burning, this belt you wear and you will be able to burn the fat. These colors, yeah, color. So these are manipulative marketing, where you manipulate the customer. And what is surrogate marketing? Correct. So for liquor, for example, or tobacco products, their advertisements are banned. But in the garb of soda, they advertise liquor. So that's called as surrogate marketing. Surrogate word, you know? It's an indirect. Surrogate is actually, in medical parlance, surrogate means carrying the baby of someone else or using the womb. Yeah. So it is like that. You want to advertise for liquor, but liquor is not allowed, so you do surrogate marketing. You advertise through the soda. Similarly, Kesar, that advertisement, the 3 Bollywood actors who are doing it, that is surrogate marketing. Okay? Okay. So increased anxiety, depression, low self-esteem. Social media platforms often serve as venues for cyberbullying. So cyberbullying also takes place. What is cyberbullying? People? It's a kind of blackmailing. Roasting. Yes, it is like roasting. Which can cause emotional distress, isolation, anxiety, and in extreme case, suicidal thoughts also. Low self-esteem means that you start feeling that you don't possess any qualities, very low esteem. You are inferior to, they are all superior people, you are inferior. So you lose confidence, you become pessimistic. कि दुनिया में रहने के लिए कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. The very low esteem, So one should be always in high esteem, positive looking, see. But one goes down in the esteem. So one starts thinking about oneself in a very negative fashion. That is the उत्साह खत्म हो जाता है, something like that. Okay, 10-year-old influencer Abhinav Arora filed a court case against YouTubers who harassed him online. So that is. Then sexting and legal issues. So sending explicit content can lead to severe emotional consequences and legal trouble. You are already aware about it. I don't have to elaborate that. Including blackmail and damaged relationship also. And this is becoming very common nowadays. Sleep disturbances. So the blue light emitted by screens interferes with melatonin production, making it difficult for youth to fall asleep. So that also is another disadvantage. Poor sleep can enhance mental health problems. And whenever you appear for the civil services, and I say with lot of humility at my command, and I say that out of 24 hours, 8 hours you should study, 8 hours you should sleep, and remaining 8 hours, go out, meet people, meet some of the people who know more than you. It can be a university professor, it can be someone who has qualified the civil services last year, he belongs to that area, meet him or her and try to find out, because ultimately you have to improve your knowledge, and knowledge can be improved only from someone who knows more than you. So spend time with them, spend time with your parents rather than devoting to the social media. So virtual socialization. Excessive social media use limits face-to-face interaction, hindering in the development of essential social skills and emotional understanding. Because everything you talk now virtually, you see. Whereas if you sit eye to eye, talk to someone eye to eye, sitting across each other, that is a much better way of interaction rather than through the virtual media. That is why during COVID-19, it was of course compulsion, but otherwise offline classes are always better than the online classes. You get to understand the emotions, and you can read in the eyes of the people, which may not be possible in the online. So excessive, it used to, it limits the use of free. As a result, youth may struggle with real world social dynamics, leading to feelings of loneliness and isolation. So you keep on looking at the screen, trying to talk to a person across who is sitting on the other side of the screen, and you feel very lonely. And that is why I always say that it is the parents' responsibility to keep the children engaged in one activity or the other. Ultimately, it's not the parents' responsibility to just bear children and let them be on their own. 8 hours almost the children spends in the school and colleges, but the remaining part he or she spends at home. And it is absolutely necessary for the parents to oversee what the child is doing. And the child must also find great satisfaction and solace in the lap of the mother or the father or elder brother or elder sister. So that is why even though I was in the IAS and I held on to some of the extremely important positions like collector of Chandigarh, and as collector of Chandigarh I had almost 20 departments under me. So time was limited, and just to narrate one incident to you. Why I am narrating these things is that I am also indirectly trying to goad you to enter civil services. As I say, nothing is better than civil services. So I came from Karnal. Karnal, I was the collector and served there for 2-3 years, and then came to Chandigarh on posting to Chandigarh, and I became the DC of Chandigarh. DC means collector. The collector is known by many names. He is known as district magistrate, he is known as deputy commissioner. So I became the collector of Chandigarh, and it was a busy assignment. So I had 2 daughters, as I told you. So the younger daughter, she was just 3 years old at that time, 2 to 3 years old. So we wanted to put her in a preparatory school rather than a full-fledged convent school, because the kind of personal attention which is warranted for such a small child is generally not available in a school where in a section there are more than 40 to 50 children. So that class teacher cannot pay personal attention. Whereas in a preparatory school, in a section, there are just 15, 20 children. So everyone can be given personal attention. So one of the schools in Chandigarh which provided this kind of training by one of the great educationists, and she ran the school called Vivek Preparatory School. So I went to meet the principal, myself and my wife, and we said that we would like our child to be admitted in your school. So after some questioning with the parents, which is a normal thing, she decided, accepted, yes, tomorrow onwards you send the child. So our child, 3 years old, she started going to the school. And one day the annual function was to be held. And every child has to perform in the annual function, isn't it? Koi kavita karega, to someone Vanak play karega. Everyone is given some job or the other. And all the parents are invited to witness about their child. So we were also invited that come and see, because the daughter was assigned some poetry recitation or something like that. So it so happened on that day, I got busy in a meeting, and by the time I reached home, it was slightly late, quite late. My wife said, where were you? We had to go for the annual function. So immediately we got into the car and reached there, and we entered the ground, and there the principal, Sharda Dutt, she was standing there, and she looked at us with glaring eyes, and she said, Mr. Mohan, do you understand that your child was to perform today and it was your duty to be here at the right time? Every parent was there, and the child who was performing, the child who was looking amongst the crowd where my father or where my mother is sitting with such eyes, and your child performed that poetry and she was looking blankly through the crowd and you were not there. What impression did you make on your child? And then we were very ashamed, and I said, ma'am, I'm really sorry. It will not be repeated again. He said, never do it. Once you have got a child, you have to look after the child. And that was the last day. After that, I never missed any parent-teacher meeting, any function. I went there, and if I was not there, my wife would go there. But definitely, so that kind of thing, parental guidance is always necessary for the children, particularly when social media is involved. So the dangerous viral trends, risky viral challenges like the blackout challenge, breath holding, and devious lick like stealing, or even I think there was a whale program, isn't it? What was called? Blue whale, which ended up the lives. So it's a dangerous also. So social media can be very, very dangerous for the life also. So dangerous viral trends can lead to physical harm, legal trouble, and emotional damage. People have jumped off from the top and because someone was performing such things and thinking that nothing will happen to them. So that also is one of the very, very negative impacts of social media. And then academic impact. Social media addiction leads to procrastination, distractions, and a lack of focus on studies. What is procrastination? Delay. आज का काम कल करो, कल का काम परसों, है ना? इतनी जल्दी क्या है भाई, जब जीना है बरसों. That is the kind of thing we start feeling कि आज का काम कल करो. So we keep on postponing the issue because our social media becomes a greater priority. है ना? I remember a very small story. After Mahabharat battle was over, then Yudhishthir was made the king. So one day Yudhishthir was sitting on the throne as the king, and many people were coming with grievances. So one person came and he had a grievance. So he said, Maharaj, ये मेरी परेशानी है, इसको solve करिए. Yudhishthir was in a great hurry on that day. So he was occupied. He said, Kal aana, today I am busy. He was very disappointed and he started turning away, going away. Bhim, the brother of Yudhishthir, he got up. And Bhim said, ladies and gentlemen, भाई और बहनों, सम्राट युधिष्ठिर ने काल पर विजय प्राप्त कर ली है. He has won over death also. So Yudhishthir said, Bhim, what are you talking? He said, of course. You have called him tomorrow. Are you sure that you will live tomorrow? So you are so sure, that means you have already got victory over death. And then he said, yes, I am in the wrong. That was procrastination. He is putting off tomorrow. You see. So nobody knows what will happen tomorrow. I will bring my younger daughter. She always carried a pocket dictionary. Those were not the days of mobile phones. She was in the school. She will always carry a small pocket dictionary in her pocket. Whenever she saw a new word somewhere, she will immediately open the pocket dictionary and see the meaning of that word. She didn't want to postpone anything. Any new thing which is coming, she was very, very conscious of that. So if you have to study something, write down, always carry a small notebook. I am an old, kind of thought person who always like to write down. Writing actually memorizes the thing. So I carry a small notebook always and a pen. Whenever you come across any new thing, just write it down and never procrastinate. So social media leads to procrastination, distraction, and lack of focus. Constantly checking notification disrupts schoolwork, lowering grades and academic performance, obviously. So the positive impacts now. We have talked about negative impacts, many of them. Positive impact is networking and connection. So social media helps youth stay connected with peers and family regardless of distance. For example, COVID-19 pandemic, adaptation through Zoom, WhatsApp and Instagram. So that was the only way. You could not go and meet people, you could not touch, because the Prime Minister came on the TV to announce lockdown, so you could not go out. You had to remain connected through social media. So the internet, the information communication technology and Facebook and Twitter, you were connected. So that is a positive thing. Never before could we think about even education in distant areas was carried out through the virtual means. So that is the beauty of that. Learning resources, platform, study together, live study rooms and gamified challenges. So that is the learning resources. Lot of material now is available for learning. You can learn new skills. I'm sure a large number of you would be looking at YouTube to find out the recipes, to learn new things and new skills, capacity building. All these things are available to improve your skills and capabilities. And then personal expression. So young influencers turning hobbies into careers. Influencers, they are now, in fact, they are becoming popular. So once upon it was a hobby, now it has become a career. So many YouTubers are there. They are called as YouTubers, they are called influencers. Okay. So that is personal expression, which was not possible through print media or electronic media. Social media, you have been able to get it done. And it is instant. It is instant and does not cost anything. Barring that that broadband connection, whatever charges you pay, and the speed has also improved. Digital India, the flagship program of the Prime Minister, has now increased the speed, which used to be only 512 kbps earlier. Now it is almost 250 mbps or even more. Okay, so that is the technological advancement. Health information, mental health support and resources, counseling is there. Activism, examples of Greta Thunberg for future climate movement. I'm sure you are aware about Greta Thunberg, one of the great environmentalists. So she's in a position to goad all of us about environment. There are many environmentalists. One of them got Nobel Prize also. Can you name that environmentalist from Africa, a lady, a very famous lady? She got Nobel Prize for environment. Come on, these things you should know. Improve your knowledge. What is the name of that lady? No idea? Wangari Maathai. Wangari Maathai. She was an environmentalist and she did huge work for environment. And of course, the other people who worked in the field of education for women, they got Nobel Prize. Malala. And someone else got a Nobel Prize for children's interest. Kailash Satyarthi. What was the name of the movement of Kailash Satyarthi? Bachpan Bachao. So Bachpan Bachao was the name of the movement. For interview, you have to understand, you must read one English newspaper and one economic newspaper. Always. Start reading from tomorrow. Do it. One English newspaper which I would recommend, either Indian Express or Hindu. Indian Express is more diverse. You can get lot of information. And one economic newspaper, it can be Mint or Economic Times or whichever you like. Start reading these two things and I can assure you, you will remain updated. And one or two magazines. Frontline is a good magazine. Eco and Political Weekly is a very good magazine. Yojana Publication Division of Government of India is a good magazine. Kurukshetra is again a Government of India magazine, a good magazine. And India 2000 Yearbook 2025 or 2024, which gives all important factual, credible data. Don't go to any other unauthorized sources. And if you have to visit the website of Niti Aayog, which will give you a very good idea about what is happening in the country. And start building upon this knowledge from today itself. You see, you will have a lot of time to go through the social media once you are selected into the civil service. But start doing it. Okay, positive things. So, we were here, positive impacts. We were here, Greta Thunberg. And then, networking and connection. Social media helps youth to stay connected with peers and family. Example, during COVID-19 pandemic, Zoom, WhatsApp and Instagram, they became very essential for remote learning and maintaining social ties. Just like Zoom, there were many other platforms. Can you name some of them? Google Meet, yes. And some more were there. Okay, there were at least a dozen platforms which were available, but the most popular was the Zoom. Learning and educational resources. Social media is a valuable educational tool with platforms like YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. Study Together provides live study rooms, goal setting tools, and gamified challenges to keep students engaged and motivated. Personal expression and creativity. So social media allows youth to showcase their creativity and passions. Many young influencers, they have turned hobbies like gaming or crafting into careers. Health information. Social media offers mental health support, resources, advice, counseling. Particularly this depression and anxiety is also amongst the various aspirants for the civil service, because they keep on appearing again and again, and somehow they lose become less confident, and because they have appeared many times. So in order to bring them out, counseling sessions have been started. Even Vision IAS has also started counseling sessions. Activism and social change. So Greta Thunberg, the climatic movement was launched globally through social media, and many people followed her now. Global regulations, country-wise policies. India. What are the regulations for by the various countries? So Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023, that requires data fiduciaries to collect verifiable parental consent for processing personal data of children under 18. So there is this Act 2023, just a very recent act, which requires data fiduciaries to collect verifiable parental consent for processing. And then United States, parental consent for under 13 years. Content restriction in schools and libraries. It mandates parental consent for collecting personal data from children under 13. And SIPA restricts inappropriate content in schools and in libraries. I think you all are aware, inappropriate content. What are the inappropriate content on the internet? So United States also has got some regulation. India has come out with this act that the fiduciaries must collect verifiable parental consent for processing personal data of children under 18. European Union. This question I often ask, that what is the biggest example of globalization in the world? Biggest example of globalization. What is that? Yeah, European Union. European Union is the biggest example of globalization. A common visa, tariff barriers are not there. So that is the example. And currency also, euro currency. So, and now with the Brexit took place, so that is an indication that we are slowly moving from globalization to deglobalization also. So that again is a question which we ask on the interview, that, and you know why it happened? And if you remember in the Trump's first term, he talked about America first, looking inwards, that we have to care for our people. Indians, or for that matter any other country people, they have a second priority. First of all, our people should get employment, etc. So he talked about America first, and that was looking inwards. And then many European countries also started doing the thing. Great Britain exited from the European Union. And then what happened? Two things happened, which made it further looking inwards. Can you tell me what were the two things which happened when people had to then rely on themselves rather than on others? Globalization says that the entire world is a village, so interdependence of countries. But now the countries had to be self-sufficient. So what was the two things which precipitated it? Mm, 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 correct. And two events took place. Russia-Ukraine war, because that led to supply chain disruption, and COVID-19. So these are the reasons. What you said was absolutely correct, and then besides that, these two. So that is why India started talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-dependence. So what has happened is that more and more countries are now existing with themselves, and the concept of globalization has got some hit nowadays. So European Union also, they brought about general data protection. Parental consent is required for processing of personal data for children under the age of 16, and so on. UK also brought about Online Safety Act, set standard for social media such as Facebook, YouTube and Twitter and TikTok, including an appropriate age restrictions. Australia is Online Safety Amendment Bill 2024, but the latest being that Australia has become the first country to pass a law banning social media use for children under 16. Minimum age requirement, social media platform must enforce a minimum age for users and prevent children below this age from creating accounts. So they will ask for, of course it's slightly difficult, how will you enforce it? But at least they have started thinking about it, that below 16 you cannot open an account. And fines for non-compliance, companies failing to comply would face fine up to $32 million. So that is the provided under the Australia Act. So way ahead, safety by design. So privacy by default. Technological companies must provide default privacy settings for minors, especially regarding data collection. For example, UK's age appropriate design code. So there are some inbuilt, just like you have a child lock in a car, in the same way some kind of mechanisms are being introduced by default privacy and privacy settings for minors. AI detection of harmful content. Use AI tools to identify and remove harmful interaction or inappropriate content in children's feeds. So artificial intelligence is going to play a very major role. For example, I remember some of the countries, the advanced developed countries, they always used intelligence to keep a watch. Some words, if they are used, they would immediately go to the source of that. For example, terror or extremist, all these words which are used in the conversation. So the AI would immediately identify those sources so that the sources can be tapped. So in the same way, the artificial intelligence is also going to identify and remove harmful interactions or inappropriate content in children's feeds, so that it becomes a safer online experiences. Regulations, accountability for tech companies. So tech companies should be held accountable for creating safer child-friendly spaces. So there are some frameworks like 5 Rights Foundation of Child Rights by Design. Social media platforms like Meta set age limits 13 plus to ensure children's safety. The general thing is that children are very vulnerable. They have a very, very innocent mind, and they don't have that power of reasoning, the pros and cons or rationality or objectivity, which an adult has. So they are gullible people. They can be won over. So therefore, all the more necessary that the children viewing the social media, there must be some kind of regulation which should be there. And investing in a children's internet. Government could create a children's internet, especially for children. A safe educational space free from mainstream social media risks, offering a child-friendly digital experience. Because ultimately child also wants to have a digital experience. So let's create something suitable to the child by having a separate internet connection. Internet is regarded as one of the disruptive technologies. What do you understand by disruptive technology? No. It has changed the lives of the people, disrupted the lives of the people. Huh? Famished? Da- damaged? No. It has changed our way of, it is a kind of disruption in our life. Internet, mobile phones, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology. These are all which have made a huge difference in our lives. So they have literally disrupted our lives. It is not always in negative sense. It is in a positive sense, that how they have changed the lives of the people. So internet is also one of the disruptive technologies. So improving digital skills and education, educate children and parents about responsible online behavior, digital literacy and self-regulation. Kerala's digital de-addiction centers offer free counseling for kids struggling with digital addiction. And then life beyond the screens. So young people should be encouraged to participate in real life experiences like sports, basketball, volleyball. You know, something, when you will go and become a civil servant, the kind of experience that you will have in the academy, Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy, it is unimaginable. You have, besides academic, you have best classrooms there, best technological tools are available, best teachers will be there, belonging to the services also and belonging to specialized subjects like economics or public administration, sociology, psychology, everything will be taught to you. And you will also be in a position to learn many games. So outdoor games, lawn tennis and then badminton, horse riding. You will be able to learn horse riding. And indoor games like TT and billiards. So this is the kind of atmosphere which awaits you in academy. So leave social media for some time, get into this thing, and I assure you that you will definitely come out of it. So here when I talk, I always try to see that all of you, you have the potential, and I really look forward. I never lose sight of my participants. The mock interviews which I carry out, I always try to note down the address and the mobile numbers of those people. And when they become successful, then I ring them up and then I have a talk with them. Many of those boys and girls who have succeeded, they are still in touch with me and they keep on asking for my advice. And what happened that there was a mock interview which I was conducting. So she was working in DRDO, very good in mathematics also. Very simple lady, girl, very simple girl. And but the knowledge she had, it was extremely good. I really appreciated her. I said, you have very good knowledge. But it was her third attempt. She had not qualified. So what I did was that before the interview, I rang her up because I had the mobile number. I always try to keep mobile numbers of those particularly whom I found to be very intelligent and who are likely to get into the services with small push. So I spoke to her and I said, do you remember me? And she was amazed and she said, yes sir, I remember. So I said, now your interview is going to be held. Prepare the following things. And I kept talking to her for almost an hour and before the interview. And then I forgot about it. She went for the interview and one day I received a call after the results were out. Sir, do you remember me? I took some time. I said, yes, I remember you. He said, sir, I have qualified the civil services. My rank is 23. And I am so grateful to you for giving me the basic insight how to face an interview. For 3 years I was appearing, I was not getting the marks. So I was so overjoyed in hearing. And now she is posted in Sultanpur district in Uttar Pradesh. And she was having some problem with with the block chief. the Panchayat Samiti chairman, a non-official. So she was asking for my advice. So I gave her how to deal with non-officials. So what I'm trying to say to all of you is that let this lecture, what I'm trying to tell you here, not end here. Once you go back, just take a vow that you have to appear at the civil services and come out of it. And I'm always available in Vision. If you want to consult me at any point of time, don't hesitate. I would love to see all of you getting through into the civil services. So, National Nature Camping Program aims to provide every school child in 6th to 10th grade with at least one camping opportunity. You know, as civil servant also, you'll be going for trekking in the mountains. 15-20 days, you will go to the highest trek mountain and for trekking. You will go for army attachment to know how the army operates. You will go for Bharat Darshan. You will go to the entire India and you will meet the chief ministers, the governor, the important institution, the historical buildings, everything. You will go for a village visit. So you will stay in a village for a few days to understand how the decentralized governance works. Panchayat Samiti, Zilla Parishad. You will go to Delhi. You will understand how the parliament functions and so on. So the kind of exposure that you will get as a civil servant is something which is unmatchable. No other service will provide that. So parental involvement and control, set up parental control tools, use apps like Bark, Custodio or Net Nanny to monitor social media activity, track usage and detect harmful interactions or content. Create accounts together. So set up social media accounts with your child to ensure proper privacy settings, strong passwords and content limitations so that you can in a way monitor it. You see, what I'm telling you, all these things will be useful to you in essay. Many times the essay may be on the topic of social media, or in a personality test or interview also. You can be asked a question which I often ask, and I say that speak for 20 seconds in favor of social media and 20 seconds against the social media. Now how will you speak unless or until you have this particular knowledge? So this master classes which the Vision IAS is conducting is basically talking about some of the buzzwords, some of the rising sunrise areas which are important from the point of view of civil services. Establish screen time limits, implement tools to manage screen time, promoting healthier digital habits. So half an hour, yes, that's sufficient. There must be, because now technology can give all kinds of, you can control the limit things. Enable activity reports. Regularly review detailed reports on your children's social media activity and identify and concerns early. Protect personal information. So teach your child to keep personal details private to avoid online dangers, which I'm sure all of you must learn. We are all adults, but at a very, very responsible age, and you must also take precautions, because people are very nasty in the virtual world, and they really are dangerous people, and you must guard yourself. Discuss online etiquettes and teach your child to report or block harmful accounts. To protect against cyberbullying and harassment, promote respectful behavior online, encouraging your child to intervene when they see bullying or harmful content. That whenever they see this, they should immediately call you. That was the social media. Now I plan to take up the next thing. Do you want any break? Yes. Okay. So, बहुत तेजी से बोले, yes. How much time would you like? 10 minutes. So after 10 minutes, then we will talk about another subject, involvement of youth, all of you. In today's world, the importance of youth. You must understand the importance of youth. You people, ultimately, I will narrate some one or two instances also, which I did in my service to look after the interest of the youth. So it can be a book, it can be internet, it can be someone's notes, So then you prepare your own notes. Do not read directly from the books. I still remember, I'm talking about 1976 when I prepared for the civil services. And you know, I come from a town in Uttar Pradesh, and those days we had takhats. Takhat is a very heavy wooden bed, and you can't even move, it's so heavy. So the takhat there was a table in front of the takhat, I will sit on the takhat, I will surround myself from all sides, books. Those days we did not have virtual things or e-books, all these, they were all hardbound books. I will borrow from library, and my father had a good library also. So on every topic, I will pick up the best book. For example, if I have to write about history, so I will pick up all the good books on history by authentic authors and take up topic by topic and pick up the best topic from the best book. So in this way, notes are prepared. So you must pick up the best book for that purpose. And once you are ready with the notes, that takes about 3 to 4 months. Then start studying. And studying, you leave those books now. You don't consult the books, just leave them. There are only 2 things which you should prepare. One, PYQs, the other, model questions. Model questions are given at the end of every book. So prepare answers for that, and nowadays answer writing is so easy with ChatGPT, with Gemini. Everything, you know, you can get excellent answers. So my suggestion to you would be, prepare answers on the PYQs and model questions. For every subject topic, do cherry picking to make notes, excellent notes, and then the questions. And write down, practice writing those answers on rough sheets. So once you are prepared 1000 question, for example, so every question, write the answer with memory then. Write down again and again, again and again, and it will become imprinted here. You will not be required to even think about it in the examination. So for that requires, as I said, preparation of notes, PYQs, and model questions, so that you have a variety of questions on every topic. And for improving the general knowledge, prepare cuttings from the newspaper. Important news item, because they will be very helpful to you in your personality test also. So important news item, just cut with it. You know what I used to do? I used to place my newspapers on the floor, and I would sit and I would read the newspaper, and all important news I will cut. For example, if there is a news about a sarpanch having a selfie with daughter, to sensitize people about the importance of having daughter. So one sarpanch took a selfie with her daughter and put it on the social media, and very quickly it became viral, and house to house it became the word. So writing down reduces, immediately you memorize it, and it also improves your speed, because if you write it again and again, again and again, your speed increases, and time is essential in the examination. And third thing is, it improves your handwriting also. So these are very unconventional things which I am suggesting to you, but they are very good. And of course, Vision IAS has got background notes which are very good. We should always consult, and prepare a bank of quotes also, because nowadays essay paper is mainly quotes based. So you must prepare quotes subject wise: women empowerment, agriculture, geography, history, then person wise: Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Vivekanand and Gandhi ji, and so that that material you can use in your essay paper also. Okay.